And so most of what actually goes on, I just want to say, is less than meets the eye. That is, most of my day is spent, every day, doing something that wasn't in the pictures, and we didn't talk about very much. It's reading these misnomered things called briefs. They're not brief. They are 50 to 60 pages or longer. And in each case, you'll get about 10, 15, and sometimes, as in your case you argued, 120, I think, were filed in that one, the Grutter case, or close. And unlike the certs, I read all of those. Now, I grant you, if there are 80 cases, it's going to be skimming quite a few to see if there's anything new. But I'll look at every single one of them. And so my colleagues will figure out something like this too. And then I'll have a memo written. And then I'll read the memo, discuss it with my clerk. And I've had 2 discussions, and I've read the briefs before I go into that oral argument. And I mention that because I want you to see what I think is the heart of this job. And it's one I'll have for a time, and I'm just a trustee there, I know, but I think an awful lot of people have seen it this way. It's reading through those arguments and trying to understand them. And it's not a contest. It isn't a contest among judges. It isn't a contest to see how many votes you can get. It isn't a contest among lawyers from our perspective, though not from the lawyer's perspective. What we're trying to do, or what I'm trying to do, is to work out a better rather than a worse solution to a difficult legal problem that if judges hadn't split on it, it wouldn't even be there. And I know perfectly well that many of these decisions will affect maybe hundreds of millions of people who are not in that room, and they are not being represented. And you'll never see them on television, even if the television is there. And then, when you look at that on the television, you might think, well, this is about an oral argument, and it's about which is the better lawyer or which client is more sympathetic. That isn't how I see it, whether the television is there or not. Is what is the rule that's going to come out of this case, or the approach that's going to come out of this case, that will make, in this minor or major area of the law, a better rather than worse set of rules called laws under which people live. Now, everyone feels that way. And so what we're doing is a professional job. And our conferences are not people screaming at each other. And if we get annoyed, we hide it. What happens in the conference after we're through that is that people go around the room in order and they try to explain succinctly what it is at the point they're at intellectually that they think about this case and how it should come out. And everyone also knows that nobody really cares, no matter what they write, about what I, Breyer, happen to think about a case. What they care about is what does the court think. And the court is made up of individuals who have to pay attention to each other in order to get a result. Now, we know that too. Now, do you see? It's not a contest. But on the other hand, you have to pay attention to other people. And eventually, what I'll do is sit at the word processor. And I will write a draft. My law clerk will have prepared a huge, long memo. I will take that. I'll read the briefs again, and I'll write my draft. And she'll get the draft back and think that hers was a lot better. And then I'll probably try another one after she gives me another one. And that's an endless process. So I say, what is the job like from my point of view? I explained this to my son when he was in high school. I said, it's reading and writing. And if you do your homework well, you'll get a job. You can do homework the whole rest of your life. Now, am I giving you a picture?